Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for the Cuckoo's Fiancee, chapters 85 through 87. For those of you who have not heard, Black Cat Scans has gone. They've closed up shop for reasons that I'm not aware of. And so they're not doing Cuckoo anymore. I have no idea who is. It's on MangaDex. With the group that MangaDex has it under is No Group. So I have no idea who's responsible for this. It's been uploaded by someone named Drake. But anyway, we're having someone doing Cuckoo who is not Black Cat. But anyway, 85 through 87 all came out at once this morning. So let's just dive in. When we last left our heroes, Nagi and Erika were still trapped in the hotel room by Mrs. Amino, whose first name we eventually learn is Ritsuko, who's just doing everything in her power to make life really awkward and horny for her daughter. It's kind of uncomfortable, and it's not that funny. It's kind of the same joke over and over again. When we last left off, Nagi was asleep. They were, like, in bed, and Nagi was, like, bound up to, like, so things wouldn't get out of hand or something. But now Erika's, like, sleep crawling on him. It's weird, and I just don't like this arc, and I want it to be over. Anyway, we open right where we left off, with Erika asleep and crawling on him. Water. And she's like, over him. 85th foul. You've changed a lot now that Nagi-kun's in your life. I'm guessing there's going to be like, who's going to say that line? I don't think can be Nagi, obviously. So I'm hoping that's a sign that we're going to be, like, moving towards an ending. Someone is going to have to break containment, and talk to Erika to say that line. Anyway, Nagi thinks it smells like Amino-san. And Erika says, there it is. And she, like, grabs his arm as Nagi tries to protest, but he's been, like, duct taped on his mouth, which is just, again, this arc is bad. It's just not very good. And Erika grabs it, but she's kind of questioning what it is. It's kind of warm for some reason. As she, like, feels his arm, and Nagi reacts, is she half asleep? Or is she just stupid? I mean, she's obviously asleep. This is obviously she's, like, sleepwalking, sleep crawling on him. And then she, like, tries to, like, twist the lid. Except instead of a lid, it's, like, his knuckle. Oh, well, better than nothing. This lid is shaped funny, and Nagi just sort of stews in silence. Why can't I open it? Jeez. And so she just bites his fingers. Good lord, this arc is weird. And Nagi reacts, ah! And we can, like, see her teeth, like, biting into his fingers. Nagi he can't scream because he's been duct taped for some fucking reason. And Erika's just sort of confused at the lack of water. And then she bites on it again, and then she licks it. It's just really weird. It's just such a weird fucking thing to happen. And I guess that finally wakes her up, because she takes off her face mask, or her eye mask. What the heck? It's salty. And it's only then that she realizes that, that was Nagi's finger, and she just turns away instantly. Ah, here's my bottle. And she picks up the water bottle, and she just says to herself, I'm not entirely sure she's aware that Nagi is awake. But she says to herself, I made a mistake. And Nagi sort of simmers, what does she think my arm is? And then she tears the duct tape off. Okay. Huh? I'm used to it now, so we're good. I still feel safer when you're tied up, though. Got it? It's just I'm not big on this whole arrangement. I'm not even sure, accepting that she would think that Nagi being able to move would do something to the atmosphere in the room. I have no idea what the duct tape was supposed to do. It accomplished nothing. It made everything more awkward. It's just, this is not a good arc. It's just really kind of bad. Anyway, still feel safer when you're tied up, though. Got it? And Nagi thinks, is she some sort of sadist? And Erika says, but promise to stop tossing and turning in your sleep. Which, like, he just wasn't doing. And Nagi counters, look who's talking. And Erika notes, I'm turning the lights off, and she does so. Yeah. And they just kind of sit there. As Erika tries to sleep, Nagi doesn't even get a pillow or a blanket. This whole arrangement is fucked. I don't know. I'm just not on board with this arc in the slightest. But Nagi says, Amino-san, what now? Again, I don't think Erika has the room to say what now after what she just did. I think something's wrong about this whole situation. And Erika sort of looks at him questioningly. We're in hiding, but why have we been put in the same room? If we were just escaping the media, wouldn't it be safer to keep us in separate rooms? I'm glad he's finally asking the right questions, realizing that Ritsuko's whole story is bullshit, and she's just somehow, in a story that contains Soichiro Amino, is the worst parent in this series. Wouldn't it be safer to keep us in separate rooms? And Erika sort of takes that in and then responds, of course it would be. Everything Mommy does, she turns into entertainment. She's probably watching us now, since nothing's changed, even though we've been living together, and taking the opportunity to make it fun for herself. She's always been like that. And Ritsuko, not realizing she's being condemned, just chimes in, that's my girl, she really gets it. Ritsuko, die. Ritsuko, die. Seriously, you're just the worst. You're somehow worse than the dad who tries to set up incest. You're somehow worse than that. I don't know how you've done it, but you are. Her bodyguard is just like, really? That's the take you get? And Erika sighs, and then Nagi speaks up. That's not all. She's testing us to promote our chemistry as fiancés. That's just such an awkward thing to do. That's just bad. I don't like her at all. In case that wasn't obvious, very, very, very little in this arc is working for me. And Erika sort of acknowledges that in response, life can never fall for that. Yeah. Just be normal, alright? Just like before. Yeah, again, you're the one who's being weird here, Erika. Alright, I get it. In the first place, that's what I planned to do from the start. And Ritsuko sort of watches on. So they finally noticed. But we are talking 2 weeks. It'll be hard to resist, won't it? And then someone, either Nagi or Erika, asks, are you listening? I'm not sure who that's supposed to be. After all, if you're in this state in just one day, you must be at your limit. It's not a matter of if, but when Erika starts to cry. Wait, what does crying have to do with all this? And again, Ritsuko just keeps saying things that's like, worst mom alert. I cannot stand this woman. And she's not even like awful in a fun way, she's just kind of annoying. And then Nagi looks over, hey, Amino-san. And Erika's just asleep already, just passed out. Nagi looks at her, kind of blushes, and turns back. Though she is really cute when she's asleep. And then all of a sudden, it's the morning, he wakes up, he's been untied, and he's found a pillow, somehow, in his... she gave him a pillow at the end. Okay. Alright. Before she fell asleep. And Erika's already up and, like, sipping coffee. Good morning. Sleep well, sleepyhead. And we see she's already sipping coffee, which I thought she couldn't make anything. And Nagi knows that he's untied. What? The restraints. Did she take them off? And Erika tells him, I've already finished up with breakfast, so I'll have them take it down when you're done, too. Oh, it's like room service. Okay, that makes more sense. I also have them bring you a change of clothes. And Nagi gets up, still, like, very groggy towards the bathroom. And then we see he's, like, showered, he's washed up, and he's looking down at the food. Bread, huh? And Erika sort of... I'm not sure what he's sort of upset about there, with there's, like, croissants. And Erika sort of presses, what now? Nothing. Breakfast sure is nicer with white rice. He's still eating the bread, though. Fried eggs, salmon, miso soup. I never thought of meat as really a breakfast thing, but okay. Oh, stop complaining. I was in the mood for bread today. I thought this for a while already. But you're always like this, aren't you? When I ask you what you want for delivery, you say anything's fine, but then you start going, man, now that you mention it, pizza would be great. Okay, this is complete news. Alright. And Nagi sort of takes that in. If you're going to say that, then right back at you. One moment you'll say you don't want Katsudon, and and the next he'll be asking for seconds. What? They're just kind of like sparring now. And Erika kind of goes on, but I know all about how you talk to yourself when you're in the bath. And that's where it takes Nagi aback. Well, guess what I know all about? That incomprehensible wiggly dance you do in the living room. And that makes Erika, like, slam her coffee down. Okay. And Erika just sort of sits there and laughs. So petty. Well, and Erika stretches. Somehow I feel like we can do it now. Just 2 more weeks. I feel like we can make it. And Nagi sort of, like, turns away. Maybe, like we see as she stretches, like, either the camera angle or, like, Nagi's viewpoint really kind of emphasizes her breasts. And so I think that's sort of why he turns away. They sort of sees that as like, I'm not dealing with any of that right now. Wouldn't that be nice? And he thinks, I hope I don't have to be tied up every night. And then Erika sort of continues, about now, Mommy should be expecting me to be banging at the door yelling, let me out. Fiancés, please. If she thinks it'll go according to her plans, then she's dead wrong. The future we share, or whether I fall in love with you, all of it will be my choice. And that sort of, out in the blue, that whether I fall in love with you bit, Nagi sort of becomes a blushing mess. Huh? So let's. For a second, I feel like I had a thought about that line. I feel like I might have lost it. It might just be the one good thing to come out of his hell arc is this sort of insistence on Erika being the one in control of her own fate, which is better than any of the mid-tier ecchi antics this arc has given us so far. And Erika reacts, what now? No, I just thought that you said blah, 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 blah. I just thought that you casually said something really, and Erika stops him. It's not like I said I do love you. Yeah, but, and Ritsuko sort of takes that in. I see. So that's how it is. You've changed a lot, Erika, now that Nagi-kun's in your life. So there's our title line. Not, as I hope, someone actually talking to Erika, just Ritsuko talking about Erika. And we get these flashbacks of Erika with this really bad drawing of her mom. Mommy, look at this! We see her with like a stuffed cat. Mommy, buy this for me! And her just crying, Mommy! And we see her again in like elementary school, Mommy! And in middle school, Mommy! Mommy! And she slams her fist down. Pisses me off. Shocked by the transformation of her daughter, who should have been in the palm of her hand. One way or another, their house arrest days just might work out. Next time, Mother changes her strategy. Okay, so she's not really, like, for a moment she seems kind of, like, heartwarmed by the fact that Erika's kind of growing up. That doesn't last terribly long. She apparently really wants the Erika, who's just sort of a little brat. Okay, we'll see how that goes. There are still 2 more chapters to read. And so, let's jump right into 86th Foul. You want to know if I'll make a suitable partner for Amano-san, right? These are just like some really sort of long-winded chapter titles. Like this is such a long sentence. Our picture here is Sachi, just sort of squatting with some cats. One of them is holding a Showa plush. She's like eating some cup noodles. She should have known Erika better than anyone else. A challenge from Mom. And so we open the next day. We're on day 3 of house arrest. And Ritsuko enters into her, like, surveillance headquarters. Good morning. What's the situation? And her henchman says, no change. Same as yesterday. Today, they've started counting how many shapes they can find on the ceiling. Alright. Okay. That's just some good, like, funny weird. And Ritsuko, she's like tired of how they're not sort of kowtowing to her desires. I see. Change of plan, starting today. Help me set up the equipment. And her henchman goes, huh? Help Miss Erika deepen her relationship with her fiancé. Isn't that what we came here to do? And Ritsuko, who's setting up some kind of tarp, notes, it was, but I've changed my mind. Nagi-kun, you're not taking my Erika from me. So now she wants... Okay, so what we're supposed to take from last chapter's ending was that she wants Erika to sort of be the little mommy's girl that she was as a child. And so why start any of this at all? Like, why... Like, if her initial plan is the exact opposite of her new plan, I don't know what's going on in her fucking brain right now. And the two of them give their answers. 1,862 shapes is what Nagi counts. And Erika, 350 shapes. And Nagi reacts, what kind of discrepancy is that? You weren't counting seriously, were you? But I was counting. I just fell asleep for a bit. Actually, I don't really want to do something as pointless as this. Nagi protests, but you're the one who suggested it. Fine, that's that. And Erika sort of hugs a pillow and sighs, ha! Can't it just be dinner time? Nah, blah, blah, blah. Can't it just be dinner time already? That's all I have to look forward to. Nagi retorts, what are you, a farm animal? And then the TV turns on. And it's a recording straight from Ritsuko. Good day, lady and gentlemen. And shocking both of them, Nagi, huh? Erika's mommy? Today marks the third day of your house arrest. I trust your stay is going well. And the two of them look at each other, and Erika sort of huffs. Already used to it, I guess. I bet I could go for 100 years. And Nagi chimes in, me too, but I think that'd be a bit... And Ritsuko says, that's good to hear. But you know, you're a man, aren't you, Nagi-kun? Aren't you about at your limit? Oh boy, it's about to get even worse. I was hopeful this chapter would be, like, less absurdly horny. But now I'm not so sure. Nagi, I don't know what you're talking about. And Ritsuko goes on, come now, Erika's got such a cute face. As for you, you're filling out and getting developed, right? So it's not your fault you're feeling a bit of a rise over this. God, I hate Ritsuko so much. Just the idea of being like, hey, Nagi, don't you want to fuck my daughter? Is just, especially when they're like 16, it's weird. It's weird as fuck. Erika sort of covers herself. What? It's rising. And Nagi whispers to her, calm down, Amino-san. She's just testing us. And Erika tries to save face. Right. I knew that. Nagi tells her, it won't be a problem. We've already been living together this whole time. So this only feels like an extension of that. And Erika chimes in. So anyway, Mommy, did you need something? That's right. I thought you two might be bored, so... And she pulls out a placard that says, Mommy Quiz. Ta-da! Here's a little quiz from Mommy. And Erika, like, lights up. What? No way! And Nagi looks at her. Are you really that happy? You must have been extremely bored. And get this! The winner will receive what they want. It's a present from me. And that gets... What does Nagi want? Because Nagi, like, rages. Let me at it! Like, is he assuming she'll let him out if he wins? 'Cause I doubt it. Anyway, so question number 1. What is this? And it's a image of, like, a room with, like, plush cushions, like, fancy curtain. It's a real fancy place. Nagi asks, a video? And Erika recognizes it. Isn't this our living room at home? And then a boombox comes on. And a little baby Erika comes in dressed as like a rapper stereotype. Yo, yo, yo! It's your girl Erika, yo! And Erika freezes. Okay, this chapter might still be funny. Good shit here. Oh yeah, everyone, listen up, will ya? Erika the rapper's the super best. She's super cute, and she's the world's best. No matter how tough you are, you'll cry when you face me. I'll positively, definitely bring world peace, see? If you're rich or if you're poor, makes no difference here. and Erika has just collapsed on the bed in pure embarrassment. Oh my god. Alright. Maybe this arc is worth something after all. I'm retracting my blanket condemnation now. And Ritsuko comes on. Well, who is that? And Nagi turns to Erika. I wasn't aware that you were the world's best rapper, Amino-san. Erika's just in a panic. Stop it! And Ritsuko chimes in. That's correct, Nagi-kun. All right. I thought that was impressive. Even though you were so little, you could already... If it were me, I'd have been tongue-tied. And Erika just protests, just stop it already. And then Nagi thinks, but why would she show us footage like this? I don't want to think about the why. Because if we think about the why, we have to deal with how awful a person Ritsuko is. So, question number 2. What do all of these people have in common? And there's a bunch of people. We've never seen them before, as far as I can tell. They all look vaguely professional. I don't know. And Erika recognizes them, Nagi doesn't, and says, they're all tutors. All the ones I've fired, aren't they? And Nagi turns back, huh? That's correct, Erika. And Nagi goes on, what the heck are you doing firing this many tutors? I can't even. They just couldn't keep up with me. Yeah, I doubt that's what happened, Erika. Nagi thinks it's all Amano-san's embarrassing past. It's becoming more difficult to understand what her agenda is. And for the last question, what's this a picture of? It was a young Erika doing a sort of cute little, like, whoopsie-daisy face in front of a wrecked fancy car. And Erika's just stunned. Wah! No more! And Nagi looks, you didn't. Did Amano-san crash this car? Absolutely correct, Nagi-kun. That Erika, when she was 10 years old, she got out of our sight for just a bit. And during that time, she took the keys and turned the engine on. Luckily, she didn't get hurt, since it was in the garage, thank goodness. Sometimes I don't know what I do. Oh, okay, again, I don't know what her goal is here. Like, seeing pictures of your fiancé / somewhat crush figure as a 10-year-old doesn't really... I mean, I don't think it really turns people on, does it? Like, I can't imagine that working. And Erika notes, I was just trying to run away from home in a Ferrari! Nagi sighs and then thinks, so that's what it is. Oh, I see, because Ritsuko goes on, she's been nothing but trouble like this. Seems like it's unsettling to you too, Nagi-kun. She's trying to get Nagi not into Erika. So that she can have Erika to herself again. And Ritsuko thinks, but I love that side of Erika too. I am her mother after all. You're just some kid who suddenly came up after being switched at birth. What do you know about Erika? She's my daughter. I won't hand her over to the likes of you. Nagi notes, I see. The fact that you remember even these things tells me that you truly love Erika-san very much. I mean, they're all things you'd remember anyway. Crashing your Ferrari is kind of a big deal. I understand. You're testing me. You want to know if I'll make a suitable partner for Amano-san, right? And that's not quite right. As Ritsuko notes, think again. But Nagi continues, indeed, seeing Amano's past has unsettled me. And Erika kind of freezes. But even now, she hasn't changed that much. Coming to school in an angel costume, coming at me with a flying kick. I don't know anything about the past. But at the very least, I know that whenever she's having fun, Amano-san is brilliant. So brilliant, she's overpowering. That's why, past aside, I'll consider Amano-san as she is now to decide if I'll be her partner in marriage. Okay, fine, there's some good things that come out of this arc, okay? I'll admit it. There are some good things in this fucking arc. Because that's just such a good bit. And Erika's, of course, completely, like, blown away by it. Just in complete shock. That's a good fucking monologue, you know. I'm not interested in her past. I don't know if I'm going to end up with her yet. But if I do, it'll be based on who she is now. Quality fucking shit. And Erika just thinks, is he really just going to say that in front of me? Nagi-kun really has no sensibility. Even though, like, she just did that last chapter, right? You all remember that, right? And so Nagi goes on, so I must ask that you stop testing us both. I alone will decide who I marry. And Ritsuko looks at him, and she flashes back to Soichiro, who I guess had a similar determination at some point, and sort of takes her back. It sort of takes her aback. I knew it. Damn it. And Nagi sort of responds, I wonder if that got through to her. There's no reaction. And Erika just looks at him kind of shaking and snaps. What was that just now? Isn't that for me to decide? And Nagi rightfully chimes in, wait, don't you think I should have some say in this? And then we cut to the shrine, to the Seigawa shrine, where Hiro has been tutoring Sachi. Yup, you pass. And Sachi cheers, all right. I worked so hard for this. I even did all my homework. You should be doing all your homework anyway, Sachi. Even my teachers at school complimented me. They told me that my grades went up over summer vacation. All thanks to you, Hiro-san. And Hiro just looks out the window, sort of morose. Yeah. And Sachi looks at her confused. Umino-kun and Erika-chan haven't come to school, huh? And Sachi realizes that Hiro does not know anything of what's been going on with Nagi and Erika. And notes, about that. And I guess she tells her what happened. And Hiro says, oh, so that's what happened. In that case, it's no wonder they can't come to school. The teacher said that Umino-kun probably wasn't feeling too well, and Erika-chan went overseas because of some family matters. And Sachi notes correctly, I wonder what Erika-chan's mom's doing. And Hiro writes something. Well, even then. And she's like, she's trying to write, but she's like so stressed that she snaps the mechanical pencil, or the pencil lead. I guess it has nothing to do with me. Hiro-san! Yeah, I think we're gonna have some kind of breakout. Like I said back when the arc started, though I thought Sachi would be the one to organize it, I think Hiro's gonna break them out in the end. Maybe with Sachi's help, maybe without. But I do think that given how this chapter ends, Hiro is not going to take this lying down. These decisions are theirs alone to make. Next time, what does Nagi want most? And so let's just dive into that last chapter. As we open pretty much right where we left off with Ritsuko, or where we left. Let me start over. Where we last left Ritsuko, as she turns off all the observation screens and leaves. Her henchmen call, Are you finished observing, ma'am? I got bored of it, and I got work at the station, too. Right. And Ritsuko knows to herself, to think that I'd see his face in him. I guess he really is my son after all. So again, there's a lot to say about how Cuckoo sees family ties, whether it views blood as most important or bonds as most important. There's evidence both ways. Last chapter sort of had Ritsuko declaring that Erika was her daughter. Now she's also declaring Nagi as her son. But we'll have an answer for that eventually, I suppose. Anyway, here's our cover page. 87th foul. Amino-san, have you never kissed someone before? And our picture here is of Hiro, just sort of cleaning the shrine, I guess. Their house arrest continues. Since everything outside seems so fresh, they move on to more heart-pounding topics. Alright, back to having a minorly bad feeling about this. I feel like this could be good relationship development, or it could be more half-baked ecchi antics. And on the screen, back in the hotel room, we see the phrase, "A reward shall be given to the winner of this quiz. What do you need most right now?" And Nagi and Erika just stare at the screen for a sec as Nagi thinks, the thing that I need most right now? Oh boy! He sees Hiro saying, Umino-kun, Seigawa-san. Well, but given how he last left Hiro, not the greatest choice, I'd say. As he kind of notes, no, if I saw her right now, I wouldn't even know what to say. And he's thinking, and Erika sort of turns to look at him. We need an iPad. Good choice, Erika. Good shit. Huh? It's the only choice. Huh? If we use a subscription, we'll have all you can watch movies and shows. And you can play games on apps, too. That way, we can kill all the time in the world. And Nagi's on board with this. All the time in the world? Alright, it's decided. Oh no! He actually gets a shit ton of textbooks. Because of course he does. And Erika just panics. Why? And Nagi's sort of shocked at how much shit he has. Whoa! Everything for all the second year compulsory courses is here! In a locked room with nobody to get in my way. Day or night, just you and me alone together. I can't wait. He's so ready for this. Erika notes, I've never seen anyone get so hot and bothered over textbooks. And then we see, I'm assuming that Nagi's like cooked up the steak. Erika looks at it. The meat's juices are practically a work of art. I think it's probably room service, actually. That makes much more sense. Food sure tastes best after you work your brain. And Erika sort of looks at him. It only tastes good because the food tastes good, all right? For the record, the food at our hotels is made with first-class ingredients prepared by first-class chefs. You hear? The fact that it tastes great is a given. And then he has this flashback, to the food that I think it was that Erika made a while back, right? It had like the handprint in it because she was so bad at making it. And Nagi notes, but eating luxurious food like this every meal just makes me want to eat Sachi's messed up cooking again. Oh, it was Sachi, my bad. I forgot about that. And Erika's sort of taken aback there, especially that hamburger steak of hers. That dry patty made of frozen meat from the clearance aisle, and the way it was over-squeezed and overcooked and tough. And he has this flashback of Sachi being really, really bad in the kitchen. And Erika teases, and yet you miss it. You love it, don't you? You didn't say that much. And we flash again to Sachi offering the food. Want some? And Erika asks, do you think Sachi-chan is doing all right by herself? Swimmingly. It's Sachi we're talking about here. She's probably gone back to our parents' place by now. That being said, since our parents' place has kind of become really famous, if anything, I'm more worried about that. And also, and we flash to Ai, to the Mochizuki residence, as Ai is just sitting, like, curled up in her fucking shrine to Nagi, thinking, where are you right now, Nagi-chan? I think I might lose myself soon. And Nagi sort of embarrassedly admits, I'm worried about Ai-chan too. And Erika sort of bitterly asks, don't you think you're too nice for your own good? We're childhood friends. Of course I care about her. And Erika presses, but it's only been 3 days, huh? Why do I feel so lonely? So here's the serious questions, I suppose. And Nagi's sort of stunned. If I went to school, we could meet every day. If I had my phone, we could contact each other anytime. But now that we can't, I finally realized what it's like to be lonely. Before I knew it, I just couldn't be alone anymore. Even though I was always alone before I met you. Alright, there's that good development shit. But even though Erika had this sort of, light and breezy influencer lifestyle, she was always she didn't really have any genuinely close friends before the series. And now that she's without them, it's all that much harder. Alright. And Nagi sort of pauses for a sec, and then reacts, wait, I'm here right with you, though. That's right, sort of like sticks her tongue out. That's cruel. And Erika gets up. I'm going to take a bath. Clean up dinner for me, okay? And Nagi protests, how does that follow? But he sighs and does it anyway. But now that she said it, it does feel like I haven't seen them in a long time. I wonder how everyone is doing. We flash to Sachi, who's like eating a donut at the Seigo place. And Hiro looks at her, something wrong? Hiro-chan, look at this. Ai-chan just sent me this online. And I text, I've identified the hotel they are currently staying at. Would you like to come, Sachi-chan? There we go. I knew someone was gonna stage a rescue mission. I did think it would be first Sachi and then Hiro, but it's actually I was wrong on all counts. Also, I love Sachi's Shoba background. That's so good. We all stand Shoba here. Anyway, Sachi and Hiro sort of look at the text, and they sort of look at each other, like they're gonna do this. But then we cut back to the hotel. As Erika walks out in the bathrobe, Nagi-kun, I'm done with the bath. And Nagi, you see, just hunched over on the bed, books spread out all around him, muttering, calculations. Calculations are fun. My brain's on fire. It's rejoicing. Give me more questions, harder questions, now! And Erika just looks at him, gross. And then she looks over and she notes a specific textbook. One that I don't know what it says. There's like a square face on it. It's kind of weird. Hey, Nagi-kun, you've been kissed, right? By Sachi-chan and Hiro-chan? That's a sudden shift. Nagi asks, why do you ask? And Erika sort of looks away, embarrassed. Come to think of it, I've never done it before. Huh? Done what? The way she says "done it" sounds like a sex euphemism, but it's definitely kissing she's talking about. Oh, I just suddenly thought of it. I was just wondering how it feels. How it feels. Even if you ask me, they were pretty much accidents anyway. And Erika goes on, just tell me how you felt. Like, what was going through your mind right then? Actually, and Nagi turns around ready to tease Erika. Amino-san, have you never kissed someone before? And Erika sort of freezes up as Nagi goes on, man, that's unexpected. You've been overseas before, right? Since you're always being absolutely fawned over, I was sure that would have been something of a greeting to you or something. And he notes Erika, who just sort of teasingly asks, want to try? What? That's a sudden shift given everything that was going on earlier in the arc. It's kind of fast that she's all of a sudden no longer embarrassed and is like ready to like tease him about this. Okay. Maybe, I mean, given what both she said on day 2 and what he said earlier that afternoon to Ritsuko, I mean, I guess their relationship has taken a definitive step forward in the past 48 hours, that maybe she's a bit more open? I don't know. Nagi kind of protests, no, of course not. How the heck did we get into this conversation in the first place? Don't you think you've had enough of that health textbook already? Oh, it's a health textbook, okay. Then Nagi sort of blushes as Erika leans right up into him, stunning him. Huh? And she gets right up to his face and like grabs him, like slaps him in the mouth. Gotcha. I'd only ever do that with the person I'm gonna marry. Which is okay, that's a weird way to take kissing, but okay. And Nagi asks, wouldn't that be me? And Erika just sort of freezes. And just then, room service arrives with dinner, though I thought they just ate. Like, how long was Erika in the shower that they could have a meal, or in the bath, I mean, they could have a meal and then have another meal right afterwards. But anyway, room service arrives. Dinner has arrived. It's a pleasure to have served you. And yeah, they asked the question I just asked. Dinner? Didn't we just eat, though? Oh, it's the breakout plan. Because a hand appears from under the room service cart. Both of them freak out. Who is that? Interrupting their sudden bonding. A hand. Next time, a new contestant joins the fray. Okay. A lot of content here. I almost went through a whole complete water bottle in this one video. Okay, so where to fucking start? Where to start this chapter? Let's just go chapter by chapter. 85 is still just as bad as the previous 2 have been. They're just sort of a mess. It's uncomfortable, not really in a funny way. It's trying to be sexy, but not sure it's really succeeding. Though I guess the asexual person is not the best choice to judge how sexy something is. But it's just weird and uncomfortable, and it doesn't feel good to read, in my opinion. I think it sort of gets better by the end as they start to acknowledge Ritsuko is just really, really fucked up. This is not just to help them. And then I do like the last third of the chapter where they sort of like tease each other for a while, and then Erika has this, statement of self-determination. The future we share, whether I fall in love with you, all of it will be my choice. Which Nagi returns the favor in 86 during the quiz with that great line. Let me flip to it. That's why, past aside, I'll consider Amino-san as she is now to decide if I'll be your partner in marriage, is another just really, really good bit. The way they sort of enforcing their own kind of self-determination. They're not letting other people decide who they want to marry. If they fall in love, that's great. And if not, that's still their choice as well. It's just good shit all the way through. That's the good content here. The great content, the absolutely incredible content is fucking rap star Erika. What the fuck was that? I don't think I've laughed that hard at this manga in ages now, but that's just so good. That's such a good bit. Yeah, God, that's good. We also see a bit of Ritsuko, as she also sort of wants to keep Erika for herself, and she sort of, lets that go when she sees how fiercely determined Nagi is, and also gets a flash of her husband in Nagi's line there, which is an interesting bit. I'm curious how that element's going to play out. And then we have to close out 86, Hiro learning, hey, Nagi and Erika have been kidnapped, and she is super duper fine with it. Definitely. That's so okay for her. And then we get to 87. I'm going to talk about the eye stuff first, before I get to the rest of 87, because it really follows off of that earlier scene. When Hiro and Sachi, this is really one page, get the text from I, I know where they are. I'm kind of curious how I found out they were even at a hotel in the first place. I don't think Sachi told her, given what we see of I on page 10, unless that's just sort of Nagi's imagination, is not really how I is reacting. I is a bit more, I'm gonna find you first thing, rather than sort of, where are you? So yeah, I is very determined to find Nagi, and she succeeds in the end. I'm gonna go on a limb and say that's okay, I see that stupid pun I just made. She's the hand we see in the food service carts. It's her plan. Sachi and Hiro might be there too, but it's really her. But then we get a little bit more time with Nagi and Erika, seeing that maybe Nagi's a little bit too nice for his own good. And I do really love this bit of Erika sort of acknowledging how much things have changed for her. She was sort of lonely for a long time. And now she's made friends, and being without them is just so much harder than it would have been otherwise. It's a good bit. And then I do kind of like the sort of teasing kiss scene. It's fun in a sort of way that the sort of hornier antics of the earlier chapters weren't. It's part of it in my opinion that it's just a little bit more romantic than sexual, which in my opinion is always kind of better. But also it feels more like it's based on it feels like it comes from Erika and not from Ritsuko kind of manipulating her, which I also like a whole lot more. But yeah, lots of fun stuff there. And then yeah, we have that hand, and I don't know what's going to go on with that hand. Anyway, a lot here in these 3 chapters, and I'm honestly kind of tentatively excited for how this arc is going to play out. It's not been my favorite arc by any stretch of the imagination, but it might just salvage it. It started to salvage itself now, and it might just stick the landing if we're lucky. But yeah, that's all I gotta say for That's all I gotta say for these chapters, this video. Hope you all enjoyed the chapters and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe. Do whatever makes you happy, And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!